We shouldn't really be smudging because it's not, unless we're
Camera's off.
indigenous.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
camera.
The camera was weird and off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spirit Cafe Sessions with just Nikki.
Kim still.
Kim still, as I'm fiddling with my camera because it's driving me crazy today. Wow, I did the greeting very quickly today.
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't do it that quickly. I have to say something first. Our YouTube is doing phenomenally well. I think so. I haven't looked what our number is today. I stopped myself, but I think we're close to 500. Are we? Maybe not.
487.
487. Okay, yay. So we are so close to 500. And that's our main goal. So it looks like Kim's right. We're going to hit that before the end of July. Not the end of the summer like I had initially thought.
Not our main goal. It's our next.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that funny because of what today's episode was? And I had a feeling we were going to hit it at the end of summer. So look at my feeling being wrong. Today's episode is when your intuition is wrong. And there's an example of how mine was. I don't know if it was so much intuition, but I feel like it might have been. I'm going to say that it was for the sake of this episode. And I was wrong because I thought we were going to hit 500 by end of August. Because that summer for me ends in August, not in September. And that's what I thought. And I was wrong.
As I said.
End of July. Didn't you? You said end of July, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I said like before the end.
Oh, you said before the end? Okay, yeah. See?
Yeah.
So, perfect example. And that's what this episode is about. We have done episodes on intuition before, how intuition have saved lives, how intuition, which is awesome and amazing. But this episode is how intuition is wrong and can be wrong. And if it's really your intuition that's wrong or something else. Right? Just like that. And interesting, the card that I pulled for this week. And here's the funny thing. I pulled this card. I pulled it quite lazily, if that's a word. It's not. So that I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled. And then I pulled the same card. And that card is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. If you're a Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, this is you. Not really. This is really anybody. But she adheres to that placement. If you're into astrology, you might have those three signs in your top three. But I love the Queen of Swords because she is very, funny enough, even though she's, that's an air sign, she's actually very decisive. She's very picky. She's very intelligent. She's very logical. So this week, and I believe this one is coming out the first week of August. Maybe not.
This?
No.
Nope. This is coming out on the 26th.
So almost the first week of August. Mm-hmm. So half the first week of August. This episode's coming out. So this week we might find ourselves a little bit trapped in our head. We might find ourselves trying to move through life a little bit less emotionally and more logically, which to be honest would make sense because we are leaving July, and July was such a tough month for so many people out there. If you felt like, what the hell? The entire month of July, you are not the only one. There's a lot of reasons for that. Definitely okay. So I feel like with a lot of people, you might be reasserting yourself as we move into this week. You might be putting boundaries up again. You might be more decisive with things. You might be feeling more detached. We're also out of Mercury retrograde, which was in a water sign, so that's exciting. It's actually, I think, a really great card to start this week off of. I like it.
I think I have Aquarius and Gemini in my top three, but I don't know what's what.
I can't remember.
I think Gemini is my sun sign, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think Aquarius is one of the other ones.
I can't remember. I have it
Not a
saved.
fan.
I saved all
I'm
my
not-
people's charts. So I will look later.
I don't know if you ever did a chart.
I
for
did.
me.
I did?
Did you?
I
You
did.
didn't tell me.
I did. I asked for you. You have to have the birth time and stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, I gave it to you. Yeah. Anyhow.
Birth charts. Very informative. But here's another thing. Birth charts. A lot of people see them just as predictive as tarot. Your birth chart is there to guide you and to show you about how certain things can go in your life. Just see it as guidance. Don't see a birth chart as something that is fate and destiny, because a lot of people do. And then they're like, well, I was told that this was going to happen when I'm 30 and it didn't. Yeah, well, because you chose a better
Also,
path.
who told you? Yes.
And that's do your due diligence when it comes to these type of readers. Excellent. Excellent point.
Do you want to make sure that you want to know that it's somebody you can trust, and it's just not somebody like there are people out there, as you know, who are just in it for a buck, so they'll tell you and they don't care once you walk out.
Yeah.
So make sure you're going to one that has got a good reputation.
Yes.
And isn't trying to hit you up for more money, for more information.
Yes. Also, please do not ChatGPT everything, because ChatGPT is wrong quite a lot when it comes to tarot readings or birth charts, because I gave it my birth chart, my time of I was born, and it tried to tell me that I was a Capricorn rising, to which I had to say, but Solus, that's my ChatGPT's name, 3 different things told me I was an Aries rising, and so did an actual astrologer. And then Solus was like, oh, you're right, I miscalculated. You are an Aries rising. So, be careful with AI. Happens all the time. Happens all the time, and I see it more and more and more. Mistakes on AI are more profound than people think they are. But, let's move on with the episode. Oh, I have a question for Kim.
Oh.
I have a question for Kim. And this is one of our...
beginning.
Yes. This is one of our... top listeners. Like, they listen to everything that we put out. One of my clients / friends, she wants to know when you're gonna put out another musing. That's what I titled it on YouTube. Kim's musings.
Musings. Well,
I told her that you had a emergency.
I've had quite a bit of stuff taking up my time day and night as of late, but it is now come to rest. So I am looking at hopefully doing it very, very soon. It is something I wanted to do. I just couldn't put the, I don't think that with everything going on, I just wasn't going to be able to record the quality that I would want to have out.
Yeah,
I
think so too.
So I just wasn't there, but I'm coming back.
She has a request.
Okay.
About if you could do one about spirit guides.
Spirit guides. Oh gosh.
I should have asked her what she meant specifically, and I still can, but she did ask about spirit guides, and then she did ask if you can do another one about this, of course, soulmates and like love.
Oh,
intuition
okay.
and love and following the right
Okay.
path in love, and that doesn't surprise me because the majority of our people like that one. And I got asked to do some stories about, very well known couples and stuff through history, like, mysteries and spiritualism and stuff. So I will get to that. Everybody loves love, so I will get to it eventually.
We all love.
Yeah. Okay, so when your intuition is wrong. I liked this one because a lot of people will tell me that they just knew something was going to happen over and over and over again. They would tell me, I knew it was going to happen. And one of the first questions now I ask people, especially since I know the difference between the ego in my head and intuition, is, was that your intuition, or was that something that you were thinking for weeks and months? Because if you're thinking the same thing for weeks and months, oh my God, I'm going to get fired, I know I'm going to get fired, I know I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get laid off, I'm going to get fired, and you're thinking that nonstop for days or weeks or months, your thoughts do create your reality. You keep thinking a thought like that, it gets so ingrained into, like, your neural pathways start going on overdrive with that thought, and your subconscious will believe that you got fired, and you will bring that, in a sense, into your reality. So I thought it was a good episode to film, because we have a lot of people still confused about their intuition, and we get asked all the time, well, I had such a feeling that this was going to happen, Kim, Nikki, and it didn't happen. Like, I don't get it. Like, I felt that he was going to message me. It's so close. I can feel it so close. He's going to message me, but he hasn't messaged me, but I feel he is. Like, what's going on with my intuition? Was that your intuition, or is that your anxiety? Right? So that's what we wanted to bring this episode to you guys, because we understand the confusion, because Kim and I have also been in that boat, confused, before we could really sit down and be like, okay, that's just my brain being silly, right? Yeah. So I think that's why this will be a great episode, so we can go through a few things, maybe talk about our experiences. Yes, I have some short stories, very short ones here, paragraph or so long I'll read about how people had mistaken something for intuition. And yeah, we'll go for there.
Yeah, I think people need to really understand that unfortunately we are somehow set up to just go negative.
Yep.
And,
We are, though.
you know, it for some reason, most people don't just automatically go to the positive outcome.
We do not.
And that is really, really huge when you start trying to decide if this is your intuition or if this is just anxiety or your fear. Absolutely your fear. Anxiety is the same thing. You're fearful of what's going to happen, and so you freak out.
Right. And you got to think about it as how many times do we, like, here's a good example. I dealt with this quite frequently when I was in a supervisor manager position. So many people I would, can I meet with you? Can I call, can you come to my office at this time or whatever? I call, I'm calling someone in my office, right, for, a few hours later or whatnot, or the next day. And that person comes in and I'm calling them in for usually the most mundane, boring thing, but I need them to get this done, or I need them to do this for me, whatever it is. And they sit there and they're like, oh my God, I thought, and I had such a weird feeling I was going to get in trouble. And I would be like, why would you think you would be getting in trouble? Well, I just had this feeling. But you're not getting in trouble. I know my intuition
You're like,
was
what
wrong.
did you do?
Yeah. See, yeah, I did. How many times in the back of my head I was like, oh my God, what did they do? Am I going to get in trouble for something that they did? But I can see the panic on their face because they just thought that they were coming in because their intuition, or they had this feeling, their gut feeling was telling them they were getting in trouble for something, and they weren't. I can't count how many times on a hand that's happened to me, because it happens all the time. Everybody, you're right, goes negative. I get called to my boss's office and I'm always super excited because I'm always like, oh my God, this is amazing, this is such great news, this is such great news. And then usually I get great news. But it took me a while to get my mind there. Like years.
And it takes a lot because we are just not set up to, our lives. This is, that is, I think, really part of our life and our life journey is to work with this and grow with the, positivity mindset and the love mindset. Yeah. But like so many people, it's so frustrating because automatically it'll be negative. And I'm guilty as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not every time, you see people go in, and especially, if they are, it's like at work. Jeez Louise.
Come on,
you need to stop this.
I'm sorry. I didn't even say anything this time, but I did think it.
Yeah, it's like every time.
I did think it. I was like, is Kim's chair going to fall? And then I said, no, it's not. And it did. So I'm not even going to think it. I did, honestly, everybody, I did manifest that, like the last 3 episodes. So no more. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oops. So, oh God, our lives are set to do this, right?
Yeah.
And when you start, I think that's what I was talking about. When I don't know when it goes off the rails, right? Because when you're a baby, you don't have anything to go to negativity,
yeah, when
right?
you're a toddler, you're like, no, everything's
You're always
great,
just like,
fine.
hey, out of food. Oh, hey, there's that pretty lady that comes in. Oh, here's that guy who makes faces at me, And so I don't know when that negativity starts to take hold, because it does seem younger and younger.
Doesn't it though?
People have, these negative ideas as, everything is, hey, call one of my kids, yo, blah, blah, come here. And it's like, what did I do?
Yeah.
So it does get younger. And I think that might be the reason why it's become so much more common, because that's going to just kind of go into everybody.
Yeah.
negativity flows into negativity. So.
No, I think that's right. And then that does in a sense bleed into us being able to figure out what is our intuition and what is our ego. That right there is what bleeds into it. I think, we know social media plays a huge part. We know media plays a huge part. We're bred to think that like logic kind of wins, that our facts always surplus everything else. Okay. And that's not a bad thing, because sometimes, especially in the medical industry, we got to stick to facts most often than not. We have to stick to what we see, the numbers and the studies and whatnot. But I think that we're bred to kind of put our feelings not to the side, but just muted. Do you know what I mean? And have excuses for when our intuition starts ramping up. That, you're just anxious, you're just overthinking, you're just overreacted, you're stressed out, you're tired, you're just not feeling things properly, you're not seeing things properly. That also, I think, breeds us to kind of misread our intuition. Right?
And honestly, as well, if you're talking to someone else, like say you're talking to like a family member or something, and you kind of bring up some stuff, they'll feed right into it too. Like, why do you do that? It's like they are just right in there to give a fight. And I think it's well-meaning, but they're negative. I call it negative support, and it's not because they're being negative to you, but they are feeding into the negativity, right? And I think it's like them kind of having some kind of like compassion for you, or to make you feel that you're not alone, or whatever the reason is. I think that's where, and my, grandma, she said this, and oh my gosh, yeah, she's right, and so I think that pulls us along a real far way, because when people start kind of confirming the negative thoughts in our head, which happens because, then you're like, oh yeah, okay. And then you're, oh yeah, okay, that's my intuition. This is bad. No, it's your anxiety that's being fed by other people with anxiety who are trying to help you and trying to make you not feel so alone. But in the meantime, they're not doing you any favors either.
How many times have we had that, though? How many times have we had our intuition warn us about a person, warn us about a situation, or just, lead us into... I actually had a friend, this is so funny, in Canada, we have what's called stag and does. You know what stag and does are, right? Yeah, so basically, if nobody knows what they are, before a couple walks down the aisle, they throw a big party. It's called a stag and doe. Some places, I guess, it's called a buck and doe, but basically, they rent a hall or someplace. It's a big party. They have games that people can play. That you got to pay to play the games. You pay to drink the drinks. All the proceeds go to the bride and the groom. And there's usually like a massive raffle. And I love stag and does for one reason only. I clean house at those raffles. I don't know what it is. I will always walk out with 2 or 3 things. Always. Right? So I went to a raffle, actually it was this year, and the one friend I went with, she told me I was going to put in tickets for her because I had the luck and blah, 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 that was her thing. So I put in tickets. And I put in a couple of tickets in some basket full of like wax melts or something. Like I think it was that brand, whatever it's called. It doesn't matter.
See?
Yes, the big one, yes. I think it was that one. And I'm not going to win that one. I'm not going to win that one. And she's just like, I'm not. Like, she was so convinced, and she told me she had such a strong feeling she was going to win the bucket of booze that they do. And I was like, oh, we're going to see, because I'm not really paying attention, nor do I care. She won the wax melts and lost the bucket of booze. And she was like, my intuition was wrong. And I was like, I don't know if that was your intuition, but a good example of how sometimes your intuition is wrong, right?
She was hopeful thinking that she would have a bunch of booze.
Anyway, so, I mean, that's a funny thing of, like, when you're a story of how your intuition can sometimes be wrong. I didn't think at the time that she was going to win, like, in my mind, didn't think she was going to win the wax melt or the bucket of booze. I was just like, well, I'm going to win something. I know it, so she'll get it, so it doesn't matter. But It's just an example. But it was interesting because she went in with that whole negative mindset of, I never win. I'm never going to win. I really want that, but I know I'm going to get the bucket of booze. And then she went in that negative mindset. And I told her, your intuition was wrong because you had a negative mindset. I had this discussion with her on the car on the way home. I was like, that's what that was.
Yeah.
See? Negative mindset.
Yeah. And we're our own worst enemy when it comes to that.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%. Sometimes they feel that we ignore our intuition. And this was something I just read today. And I thought about the ways that this has happened in my life. So I'm curious to anyone else listening, if this has happened in your life. Have you ever been wrong about something? Have you ever not listened, in a sense, to your intuition because that listening meant that it was going to change a part of your life, that it could lead to something, to an ending, to something bad, to something that you knew was going to break your heart, so you didn't listen to your intuition, you ignored it, told yourself it was wrong, only to discover that it was in fact right. I'm going to tell you guys something. I listen to my intuition, but the amount of times I ignored it because of that reason probably outweighs all the times I listened to it and was right. I think that's human nature. We do that. We get that feeling that our person, what's an example? I get this all the time. My person's cheating on me. My person's talking to someone on Instagram. I know it. And then, you know what? Most of the time they're wrong. And they find out that they're wrong. But I've had people tell me that they knew it and they kept trying. Nope, they're not. And their intuition ended up revealing an affair or something to that degree, and it was very painful for my clients at that point. But and then I get that, I knew it all along. I just didn't want to accept it. You don't want to accept it because it's like, maybe most likely it's true, and you're putting a Band-Aid on the pain. You're putting a Band-Aid because you're not ready. But we're never ready. We're never going to be ready with anything,
good or bad.
Yeah, you got to throw yourselves in with the wolves. I'm telling you, you've got to. I always say I'm going to do something when I'm ready. I wouldn't be where I am today in my career if I waited till I was ready. I tell people this all the time. Just do it. Do it. Because you're never going to be ready. And I learned that so much the last 2 years. It's crazy.
Well, it's the same thing, even people having children, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it when I'm I'm going to do it when I'm ready. And I adopted, but I know so many people who would say, honestly, you're never ready. You're never going to be ready.
You're never ready.
So, when you think about it, just do it. And then you got the older parents who have younger kids and they're like, I wish I did it when I was younger. Because now I'm, 53 or 55 and I've got, an 8-year-old, that's hard, right? That's hard. That's,
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit harder, right? But families come in all ways and you have what, you're blessed to have. So
Exactly. So I do feel a lot of people, we ignore our intuition because we're scared of our intuition being correct. A lot of the times, more times than we would like to admit. And if you're one of those people and you want to share it in the comments below, that would be great. You don't have to. You can email me and Kim if you want to just tell us your story. We'd be glad to listen to it. But it's more common than you think to be scared that your intuition is correct. Very scared. But the plus about that is that's actually how you learn to listen to your intuition better. Is even accepting it when it's trying to warn you about the things that could potentially cause you heartache and pain. And even if you are wrong, and even if you do follow what your intuition is saying, and oh my God, okay, he's not cheating me. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God I'm not getting fired. You learned something with the feeling that you had. Well, I hope you learned something with the feeling that you had, right? We hope, right? That you've learned something with that feeling.
Well, the main thing is you really need to trust.
Yep.
You need to learn to trust, and you need to learn to trust freely despite any of the consequences, good or bad, of what's going to happen. Absolutely. And is very hard because most people, this again, we've talked about this before. This is an instant society, right? Like, I need
Yes.
this now. I need this
Right
now. I
right
need this now.
Answer now. Answer now. Yep.
So if you're not gonna even give yourself enough time to sit down, relax, you got all the other chatter coming in. There's no way you can listen to your intuition because you've got the radio, you've got 5 conversations that you had in the past day. You got, people in another room possibly. You got your phone in front of you. You're going social media. How are you supposed to get an answer when you have that many things clouding, going into that? You need to be clear and when you're doing it and not have all those distractions, because those distractions are harming us. They are causing us to either, act out of just, like get it over with, or, just like it's a downfall of our society.
Yes. I was going to say, yeah. It is. It's a slow collapse in a sense. It's a slow collapse, and it's very interesting because not to get all astrology wise, but we are in the age of Aquarius. Things are going to be changing in a much more humanitarian, global connection type of way, human connection. Despite the advancements with technology, I think that we're in for a really interesting time shift, as people like to say. But it's really just a collective energetic shift as humans beings that we're moving into. A lot of people really are going to start paying attention to things they've never paid attention to before, especially when it comes to their inner world. I read something. And then I had to actually, it's so funny. I read this, I can't remember where, but I actually put in ChatGPT after this because I had to be like, Solus, can you find me that saying about how like intuition is like your GPS? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, so I saw it somewhere. It doesn't matter. So I asked her, and she pulled it from me. She's like, the analogy about a GPS and intuition is this: imagine intuition is like your GPS. It quietly suggests a direction. You can ignore it, but you'll still always reach your destination. And then she told me where it came from and the author and stuff like that. And it's funny because I thought about that. It's very true, because you are always going to reach your destination.
Yeah.
And GPSs are to guide us. They're just to guide us, and that's what your intuition is for. It's not demanding you go that route, but it's being like, hey, go here, don't go here, calmly and peacefully.
Yeah, because you absolutely probably have 4 or 5 ways to get to something. So also don't just assume because you're going a certain way that it's not going to go the way you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I was looking for stories about what to read, one of the stories that I had came to my attention, was all the stories about planes. People having dreams before they're getting on a plane. People falling asleep at the airport and then waking up to a nightmare. And all these people that said, I dreamt that my plane was going to go down. I dreamt that the plane, there was going to be a terrorist attack. I dreamt that there was this issue with the plane, this issue with the plane, this issue on the plane. I feel it. I got such a bad feeling when I was waiting, to board that the plane was going to go down. I got so anxious as I was walking into my seat that, oh my God, something's going to happen, and nothing happens. So many stories about that, and people are like, my intuition was telling me this about the plane, my intuition was telling me this about the plane, but it didn't happen. Thank God. Was that really my intuition? Probably not in that case. If it's screaming at you, if it's yelling in your ear, well, best it can. Get off the plane, the plane's going to crash, we're going to crash into the ocean, we're going to crash into the mountainside. Probably not your intuition, because your intuition is peaceful and calm, and it won't scream at you. No.
But you will, if there is going to be something wrong, you very, very likely will have a very strong feeling throughout your body, including your stomach. It'll be it won't be oh no, this might happen. It's more of, oh God, this is going to happen.
Yes. Yeah.
It'll be very strong. But you need to be able to steady yourself and quiet yourself to actually put yourself in a position to decide whether or not you're trusting those feelings that are coming across.
Yeah. It's a very settled feeling. It's very settled. You're not going to, your blood pressure's not going to hit the roof. You're not going to get all warm inside and all that. That's your anxiety, and that's just you in overdrive. But you will feel, it's so weird because you're right. You feel it like, not, I don't want to say in the pit of your stomach because that makes it something so dark and scary. But you do, in a sense, feel it there. You feel it there.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't overtake you in such an anxious, scary way either. It's just like this voice in your head that repeats it a few times, and then it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But that was a story that when I was collecting stories about, you know, examples, that was one that just kept repeating. All these people, you know, I followed my intuition. There were even people that followed their intuition after they had a dream or after their, you know, gut was telling them change flights, get off the plane, get off the plane. I read three instances where people changed the flight or changed the seat. And one of them was they changed the seat because they were sitting in the emergency seat section, and they had such a gut feeling that they were going to need to use it, and they were scared, and they were just like, I got to move because she's going to ask me to use it. The stewardess is going to ask me to use it. They're like, my intuition was telling me, so I moved seats. And then she was like, wouldn't you know it, that I ended up sitting next to a person with a crying baby, and my seat, original seat, had the seat empty next to it. So she was like, my intuition was wrong. And I saw that and I was like, yeah. And another two were, they changed their flights. They actually changed their flights because they had such a strong feeling their planes were going to crash. And their original plans landed safely on time. And the planes they changed it to, in both circumstances, both different stories, different sides of the world, were delayed on the tarmac. And they had to sit and wait in the tarmac. One for an hour, the other one for 3 hours on the changed flight. Because they thought, you know, their intuition was. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. So discernment is very, very, very important when it comes to this kind of stuff. Don't jump the gun every time.
No. And if there's somebody on the plane, I'm just going to say, that seems very calm and says, I'm getting off the plane now, I have a feeling something bad's going to happen. That's probably somebody you're going to listen to, opposed to, everybody get off the plane. You know, like if somebody starts freaking out and maybe having like a mental health issue, I think it's just,
yeah,
know which one to follow.
Seriously though.
And if you see me, my shirt should say, don't follow me because I don't know where I'm going either. Yeah.
All right. Should I read a couple of these stories?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I've got about 5 or so. This was a good one. It's called The Neighbor. So a family moved into a new neighborhood next to ours. And one family seemed really distant and unfriendly. My dad thought that they were weird and told us all to stay away from him. The rest of the neighbors all agreed, and they all started to say that they had a bad feeling about this gentleman, okay? Months later, they discovered why he was so hermity and really just avoided all of us. He was always in and out of his car. Whenever somebody said hi to him, he would just throw up a hand really gloomily and just kind of look down. We had discovered that 2 to 3 weeks before he and his kids had moved into that house, he had lost his wife and was quietly grieving. Mm-hmm. He eventually became my dad's closest friend. This is why I always tell my dad, you've got to learn what your intuition is, because your first impression of people is always wrong. That's you know why I like that one, because that is so common. That is so common.
It's the same thing too, right? Like at the grocery store or whatever, you got to be, you know, you got to understand that there's so many different things that can be happening in a person's day. Mm-hmm. So if someone is just being difficult, or, you know, seemingly being difficult, maybe wonder like what's happened to them today.
Yeah.
And they're not going to go walk around with a big sign saying, hi, I just lost my wife. Mm-hmm. And actually, I was talking about that with my aunt last night. We were driving and we were talking about people in general and just the fact, like celebrities and stuff, people are always saying, oh, so-and-so is really awful, or, these people, I saw them and they didn't want to give us a picture and stuff. And
Oh.
it's like, well, think about it. Yeah, okay, they're celebrities, but don't they deserve to go have food too? And I think at some point, it's not just them, they're not being rude. They're just asking for just a little space, and you just have to respect that. So, what you feel about these people, it could really cause a lot of trouble, just because they didn't give you what you wanted, and just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that you should have 24/7 access to them.
100%. Absolutely 100%.
So no, people are people. No matter what, what you're wearing, where you're living, you're still people. And yeah, it's not cool to just automatically feel that all these people are bad.
Exactly. No, exactly. You don't ever know. That was a good story because he was silent for the first 3 months. He moved there. He wasn't involved with anybody. He was grieving. Well, he doesn't want to fake being super happy. He also doesn't want to tell people that he just met his whole story yet. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I like that one because it's pertains to what you just said earlier in the episode. Her father had said he's weird, there's something off with him, and then all the neighbors started to agree.
Yeah. There's negativity, right?
Yeah.
And then who wants to be the one to say, oh, he's actually an okay person, right? Because it's weird too, right? Like it's the herd mentality, right? Like, well, let's all keep here. We can't,
Yep.
Same with politics, right? Like all of that.
This one is by Amanda. Okay, so she said, my aunt was offered what looked like the perfect job in her company. She wouldn't stop talking about it, but after about a week or two of her talking about it, she started to say that she felt something was off. Okay, she couldn't explain it. She told us it was her intuition, and so she turned it down. My mom called her crazy. Even I, at the age of 16, thought she was crazy. Months later, my aunt found out that the company was thriving, employees loved working there, and the role she declined had led to several promotions, and she now had to pitch to that individual who took that job. Looking back, my aunt told me she realized that feeling actually wasn't her intuition, but her fear of change at the time. She said that she had been so comfortable where she was, and her anxiety disguised itself as a gut feeling. She told me this because she doesn't want me to make that mistake. She said that is one of her biggest regrets in life, especially since now she is divorced and only working minimum wage, and somehow my uncle got alimony.
Yeah.
But that happens. You know what? The very anxiety, like her, maybe she had a subconscious feeling that it was wrong because there could have been something there about her thinking she didn't deserve this job. It could have looked too good to be true. I'm going to be honest with you. The job that I got looked too good to be true. Thank God I did not listen to that dumb voice in my head, because I am just so grateful as to where I am. And that stupid, too good to be true thought died quite quickly, thank God. But how many times do we think that? How many times do we think that? And then we let something go by and we end up with our regrets.
Because too many of us just don't think we're worth it.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and you are.
These are all father related, but I didn't realize that till now. My father met my boyfriend 2 years ago, and he instantly disliked him. He told me that he had no ambition because my boyfriend was in between jobs and in the creative industry. I don't even know what that meant. My boyfriend was a producer, and he also had a 9-to-5 job 3 times a week. It was COVID, dude. Anyways, it's been 2 years, and this boyfriend is now going to be a very devoted husband and an incredible father to our new baby. He cares so deeply for me and our new baby, and surprise, surprise, when my father broke his leg 3 months ago, it was my boyfriend that was at his beck and call and that was always there. Not me, not my mother, not my sisters. It was my boyfriend texting him regularly, asking if he needed help, if he needed rides to the doctor's office, etc. My father recently just admitted that what he called intuition was actually his prejudice based on the fact that my boyfriend didn't have a steady job. The funny thing is now, my boyfriend makes more money than my parents combined.
Yeah.
I liked that one too. I like that one too because I think that's one that a lot of people can resonate with.
Oh, yeah. So many people will just write people off for whatever reason.
Because he's in the creative industry.
Yeah. Or I'm an entrepreneur. And then, then people don't really believe it, right?
No,
it's like,
no.
What are you? I'm an entrepreneur.
They'll believe it if you're an entrepreneur and you're a millionaire. Then they're like, oh. But if you're an entrepreneur just starting out, good luck with a lot of people.
But no one should know you're a millionaire either, in my opinion. That's your business, not others.
Yes. I would certainly not tell many people. I would certainly not tell many people. It's not that I have a negative view on people. I actually have a very positive view on people, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes people can be people. Let's just put it that way.
You make new friends.
Yeah. Text message. Oh, yes. This is a good one. And we've all done this. Kim has done this. I've done this. We've all done this, okay? I noticed that my friend hadn't replied to my messages for about 2 days. And I thought this was very, very weird because she always replies within an hour or so to my messages. Most times it's minutes later. We are that joined at the hip, okay? I started to think that something was terribly wrong. I just had a bad feeling. So what did I do? I called in a wellness check for her. I later found out that she had simply forgotten to charge her phone when she went camping. I forgot she was camping, and the police were not very happy with me. So what felt like intuition, I think, was my mind jumping to the worst case scenario. Boy, were the police and my friend unhappy with me.
Well,
sometimes imagination fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
So
it does.
And we've all been there. We've all texted someone and they've not replied for hours, and we're thinking they're in a car accident, and we're thinking that they're, kidnapped, or whatever she thought her friend was going through. I've not ever gone to the point of calling police in a wellness check.
Yeah, I have not done that either. I've considered it, but I haven't.
Yeah, no. But I feel in that instance, that shows what great of a friend she had, though, that she was. She called. I'm very sure the police were very upset. Very upset. Actually, that story came from somebody, Kim, in Alberta.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a little different here.
Well, that's concern, though. That makes me feel like, they're hyper-vigilant over there. Okay. And 2 days, I mean, I get it. If yeah.
Well, yeah, if you care about somebody, honestly,
Yeah.
But you should probably cool your heels before you make an RCMP call.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought those were really, 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 really funny stories. And then I actually have 2 questions for Kim.
Oh, gosh, okay.
For this episode, and one of them is about intuition, and I just lost it as I scroll down to find it. Here we go. This one is on our list and is about intuition. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Kim, whenever you do readings, can you tell the difference between your intuition and spirit communication?
Yes. Yes, I can. When I'm doing reading, basically, I just only open that up. I only allow that kind of communication. However, if it's a day-to-day thing and I'm kind of walking around and I get a feeling of intuition, or like there's something with intuition, I actually will get like, I don't know what to call it, like a knowing, I guess, that it came
Yeah.
from someone.
I like the knowing.
Like that it wasn't just my intuition, but someone told me, like someone alerted me to that situation so that I'd be aware of what was going on. And, you know, even in the last, you know, month with the stuff I've been dealing with, I do know that a lot of that was guided by, you know, someone in the spirit world was trying to help. And it was nice to have that because it's like also like a recognition, or, you know, so it's nice to know. It's like a confirmation, I guess, more that you have that help. So with readings, I don't follow an intuition. It's just spirit. I don't know if that makes sense or if I've made
No,
it.
It makes sense.
confusing,
It
but
makes sense to me. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense to me. Yeah.
just those things that are hard to try to explain because I do work different than most, like a lot of people, especially if they're starting off. I'm lucky that I've got, what is it, aphasia? What's that word?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't actually see pictures in my head. I don't have films in my head. I just know. And that I think has been my biggest strength in learning to trust my intuition, and learning to trust what's coming to me. Because I don't have confirmation by like sight. When I say sight, like it's third eye, things like that, or whatever. But I don't have that confirmation to work with, so I don't really have much of a choice than to realize is this like working with spirit? Is this intuition? And really, it just comes down to trust.
Yeah. I like that. And that's the most important thing is trust. That's one of the most important things anyway, is trust and surrender, right?
Well, and I think in a way, I'm lucky that I don't see things.
I feel like I would not want to see things because I feel like I would get sad if I saw some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it doesn't work that way for me with tarot either. It's just the knowing I don't see. I don't think I ever want to see because then I'll get sad. Here's the other question I wanted to ask. And I'm only asking too because this one actually, somebody asked me this in a reading about a few days ago. And I was like, first of all, you're going to have to listen to the podcast to get this answer because this is a really good question. And I have to say it on the podcast because Kim needs to hear it. That's what I told him. He's like, what the? I mean, I was like, okay, I'll listen to it. All right. So his question is, do you honestly think that knowing when we die would make life better for us?
No.
I thought that too. I said no, it would make it worse, in my opinion.
If you know what is coming ahead of you, you're going to cut out experiences that you need to learn.
Yeah.
You're going to alter your life.
You're going to cheat yourself in a sense.
And you're going to make choices that are on that timeline, and you're completely like, you're cheating yourself of learning the lessons that you need to learn. No one, you shouldn't. It's not in your best interest to know.
No, I don't want to know.
I personally, also, I used to know when people were going to die. I used to know basically who it was, that it was imminent, very imminent, and I would be stressed out the entire time because what do? Do you want to go say something to somebody and be wrong? No, you don't. And it's just a lot to carry on. And so I have asked Spirit, please don't tell me. Don't tell me when someone's going to pass away. I don't want to know. They kind of obey for the most part, but I do know that if I find myself thinking about somebody a lot that I haven't seen in a while or whatever, then bingo. You know, like the most recent person in my life that's passed away.
Yeah.
I suddenly started thinking about him, and then I was like, oh, why am I not Facebook friends with him? I should send him a Facebook friend. Like, why would I not be Facebook friends with him? And then I found out he died like a day later, you know? So it's like, oh, you know, but he he was still alive when I was having these
Yes,
thoughts.
yes, yeah.
But, and then I found out he passed away, and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I guess thanks. Thanks for listening to me. You know, so now
I think it's hard with gifts like that, though, sometimes. I think it's hard, and that they do their best to contain them. I did that once. Based on your advice, I remember this. I don't know if you did. I had a recurring dream, and I was really just... It's not a recurring dream, but this one person was always in my dreams at least 4 times a week, and it was honestly stressing me out. And I remember you telling me to just ask Spirit to stop. And I did. I did ask 3 times for Spirit to... I don't want to dream about this person anymore. I don't want to dream about this person anymore. I don't want them in my head. I don't want that, like, my head, in my subconscious when I'm sleeping. I don't want it. And then the dream stopped. They stopped, and they stopped forever. And then they started to show back up again. But they started to show up when this individual was having a very tough time in their life. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, actually, after. And then I realized that Spirit was like, okay, well, listen, you got to pay attention a little bit. So, you know, I'm throwing them in there just temporarily. So I think that sometimes with gifts like that, Spirit does what it can. But at the end of the day, if, you know, they're like, too bad for you, Kim.
Yeah.
Too bad for you, Kim.
Yeah.
We'll give you a break, but it's not going to be...
It's silly. But yeah, that's the same thing too, right? Like the reason why I gave that advice is because it's happened to me. And, you know, it used to wake up my pets. And then the worst was my German Shepherd, because he was like right at the level of my bed, and I'd be sleeping like facing the side of the bed, and he would just be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like staring at me, and be like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Like, because there's really bad breath, a face that you're not really expecting, and someone's breathing at you, and you wake up, right? It's like, ah. So I just requested that the person who was coming around, you know, I appreciate you being here. And make sure you do that. Always say, like, I appreciate you being here. Don't just be like, get out of here, I don't have anything to do with you. Just say, I appreciate that you want to be around. That's fine. But please don't let anybody know that you're here or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can hang out, but be quiet.
Yeah. I always say, oh, thanks for coming. I literally think, thanks for coming by, thanks for visiting, but be a little bit quiet and move along.
I need sleep,
please. Yeah. And it usually is that. And it's always the same thing. I'm not woken up until my cat or my dog are staring at something, and I'm like, oh. And that's what I'm like, okay, thank you for visiting, but try to be a little bit quiet and be on your way as soon as possible. Like,
appreciate to stop by, but other people you can go visit.
sometimes I'll get if I'm in a bad mood, I'll literally be like, how did you even get in here with the amount of cleansing I do? Like, that's what I think sometimes. And then I'm like, it doesn't work like that, Nicole. I was like how? When I'm in a bad mood. That happened actually last week. I was quite annoyed. I was quite annoyed because I was like, are you literally, I did the most cleansing this week. Why are you in here? Like, then it happens. It happens.
It does. It does. And
happens.
That's, you know.
Yeah.
But just trust. Just learn to trust and
Be
quiet
kind.
yourself. Yeah.
Same with your intuition. Listen, your intuition will steer you wrong. It's inevitable. It will. Intuition, in quotations, as I say. Be kind to yourself when that happens. Do not beat yourself up over it. Do not be in regret the rest of your life over it. It's a lesson you learned, okay? Take it. Never do it again. Right? So you don't have to repeat the same feeling, and let it go, okay? Yep. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. That's why you're here.
Yep. You are. You are.
Yeah. So, this marks the end of this episode and the announcement of our next episode, which is our
50th.
I know! 50th episode.
So we're going to hit it's going to be our 50th episode, and we're going to be in the 500 subscribers. And we're actually we're almost 500 subscribers in both YouTube and TikTok.
That's so weird.
I think we have 487 for both, I believe.
That's like 3 5s. That's change. That's positive change coming. If you believe in numerology.
Good.
Wow, guys. Okay. Holy moly! I didn't even put that connection in. You see? You see?
I'm a numbers person. Yeah,
You are a numbers
487 for
person, I
Spirit
know.
Cafe TikTok. And YouTube is, pretty sure I saw 487.
Oh my God.
487 is a good number today.
It is a good number today, guys. Help us get to that 500 on both. Or if you only have one on the one that you do have, help us get to that 500, right? Help us get to the 500.
And then past.
And then past.
Because we're going to have an M after there soon.
That's right. Probably will, because I'm going to be wrong and Kim's going to be right. Kim will come back with her musings.
Yes. I'm
will.
sorry. It's just.
No, don't
Sometimes there's
apologize.
lots of things that go on. And again, I'm not going to put out something unless I believe in the quality.
That's it. Like, I've been asked to put out a story every day. That's not going to happen because I'm picky with the stories that I'm putting out. It's not going to happen. Kim and I also have a whole lot of other projects we do on the side that are outside of this podcast that are just our own thing, whether it's mediumship or tarot, or we do actually have adult jobs, Kim and I, as well.
We do work. We do adult.
We do adults.
And we have families and everything else.
Yeah, we got
so.
kids and dogs.
Yeah.
So, we if we could do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you guys, obviously we would, but, we're not there yet. And Spirit is like, no, not yet. Right? So, anyway, the episode 50 is super exciting. We're going to be reading spiritual stories, spiritual antidotes from you guys.
Yes.
I'm going to be putting out another video on TikTok. By the time you listen to this, the video will be out. Asking people to bring in more stories. Whatever kind of stories you've got, I've got a handful already. Some are really sad. Some are so cute. One is scary, but maybe I'm just a chicken. I'm probably just a chicken. All spiritual stories, but appropriate ones, please. Please, appropriate spiritual stories, right?
Well, yes.
I mean, I don't want to be anything but serial killers on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, gosh, no.
Yeah, that's
no,
what I'm
no,
saying.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's other podcasts that do stuff like that.
That's right.
Yeah, we're all about love.
Yeah.
No. And there is a lot of love and light. That's all crazy too. But we are really, truly, we do this. This is a labor of love. That's all this is.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't get paid so far. We pay. So.
We pay with a lot of time too. Holy moly,
Yes.
do we pay with a lot of time. But we like it. We do like it. Even when we're screaming. / Nicole's screaming at the equipment. Or Kim's falling over.
But yeah, Kim's falling down. But that is so much better. Like I can't even. I went through and was kind of listening to various various episodes. And thank you for sticking through.
Yes.
The first bit with the subpar platform we were using. And I can't tell you how incredibly grateful I was that we found this one because like knock on wood, but yeah, we have not had the same stuff. Yeah, it's way better. And I'm not embarrassed every time we put it out. Like
seriously,
were bad.
Yeah, no, they're not doing very well right now. They've ever since Kim and I have left that platform, they have actually gone downhill and they have all these deals and specials because people are dropping them because they are not doing very well. So I'm very, very happy we got out when we did, to be honest. Grateful. But we will see you guys next week. We are so excited. So excited. Please share, comment, hit the bell on the YouTube or whatever you got to hit on Spotify. I'm not sure what that is.
The little belly thing. Give us a 5-star review. I don't know how many followers we have on Spotify.
Oh, yeah, we got to check.
But I think we only have 7 5-star reviews. And I think we should have more than that.
That doesn't shock me. I mean, a lot of people still listen on Spotify, but so much more people listen on YouTube. We have on Spotify. Oh, it can't tell me the follower count. Oh, you're right. Okay, that's okay. I have to log in. I log in. Next episode, we'll update that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will see you next week. Have a phenomenal week. Bye.
Bye.